You're living within a timeline, but it's not the only one that exists. All around you right now, countless parallel versions of reality are humming just beyond your senses, waiting to be drawn into experience. And yet, most people remain trapped in a single loop, repeating the same habits, the same frustrations, the same endings, asking why life never shifts, even when they crave something more. Let's break that illusion. You're not confined by fate, destiny, or bad luck. You're repeating patterns because your system, your mind, your body, your emotions, your energetic frequency is still synchronized with the old timeline. You can't wish your way out of it. You can't force your way through it. And you definitely can't deceive the quantum field by pretending. Quantum transformation isn't about manifesting harder. It's about entering a state of being so pure, so coherent, that the field has no choice but to reflect an entirely new reality. Here's what most people get wrong. They believe manifestation is fueled by desire, by wanting something so intensely that the universe must deliver. But in truth, desire means nothing in the quantum. The field doesn't answer how much you want change. It mirrors how deeply your vibration matches the frequency of that change. That's why even if you're saying perfect affirmations, filling vision boards, and visualizing daily, you might still be transmitting the old frequency. Why? Because beneath the surface, your nervous system clings to the familiar. Your body is addicted to emotional repetition. Your subconscious is pulsing signals of fear, doubt, and scarcity, even as your conscious mind cries, "I want abundance, I want love, I want success." And here's the part few ever grasp. The quantum doesn't respond to the loudest signal. It responds to the dominant one. Let that sink in. Your dominant signal arises from your full vibration. Not only what you think, but what you feel, what you expect, what you embody. That's why repeating "I am wealthy" 1,000 times means nothing if your body tightens. In fear, each time you pay a bill, the field reads contraction, not affirmation. That's why you can visualize love endlessly, yet if your heart stays guarded, the field detects isolation, not connection. This is the loop that holds humanity in the old reality, believing change begins with external action, outcomes, or effort. But quantum change begins internally, with coherence, alignment, and embodied state. You must step into the self who already lives the desired timeline, not later, not after proof appears, but now. And here's the astonishing truth. Quantum. Physics shows that every possibility already exists within the field of potential. Every timeline, every version of you, every outcome imaginable, all of them already vibrate in the quantum. When you shift your frequency, you're not creating something new. You're collapsing into the version that's been waiting for you all along. That's why mystics, inventors, and visionaries have always spoken about the power of frequency, numbers, and vibration. Nikola Tesla once said, "If you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe." These numbers aren't mystical codes. They represent the harmonics that govern how reality arranges itself around vibration. So the real question isn't, how do I get what I want? It's who must I become, energetically, vibrationally, to exist within the timeline where it already is. And becoming isn't pretending. Becoming is remembering. Becoming isn't performing. Becoming is a complete body and soul recalibration into coherence. That's where the quantum shift truly begins. You're not here to battle the old timeline. You're here to ascend into resonance with the new one. But before we dive deeper into how that happens, pause for a moment and reflect. Which version of you has been steering your choices today? Which timeline have you been fueling with your focus, attention, and energy? And are you willing to release that version, to let it dissolve, so another can rise? Sit with these questions. Breathe them in. Feel the edges they touch within you. Because what comes next exposes the unseen architecture that keeps you looped in repetition. The resistance, the subconscious imprints, the emotional signatures that quietly override your will to evolve. This is the layer few ever talk about, the reason so many understand quantum manifestation in theory but never embody it in reality. Are you ready to face it? Let's uncover the real cause behind stagnation. It's not laziness. It's not lack of desire. And it's definitely not a failure of manifestation techniques. It's entanglement, a lingering identification with the self that was programmed to survive within the old timeline. That self may be outdated, but it's familiar. And the subconscious clings to familiarity more fiercely than it seeks transformation. The old reality doesn't require your consent to replay. It only needs your continued participation. Every time you respond the same way, tell the same story, or anticipate the same outcome, you reinforce its signal. It's like a neural groove carved into your brain. The more you travel it, the deeper it imprints. Eventually, that route becomes automatic. You're no longer selecting your timeline, the timeline is selecting you. Here's where quantum physics and neuroscience intertwine in ways most overlook. Quantum mechanics reveals the observer effect. The act of observation collapses infinite possibilities into one event, one outcome, one version of reality. But you're not observing life only through your eyes. You're observing through your beliefs, your emotions, your expectations. Now add the science of the mind. Roughly 95% of your behavior stems from the subconscious, the storehouse of your conditioning, memories, trauma, and identity patterns. Which means most of the time, it isn't your conscious intention shaping the field. It's your subconscious programming collapsing the wave. Let that sink in. You're trying to manifest through the small 5% of your consciousness that's awake, while the other 95% remains tuned to fear, scarcity, distrust, and survival. And since the quantum always responds to the dominant frequency, not the wishful one, the field simply mirrors that imbalance. So when people say, manifestation doesn't work, what they're really expressing is this: I haven't yet shifted. The internal observer who keeps collapsing the same version of reality. That's why people loop. That's why you can change your job, your partner, or even your environment, and still encounter the same emotional patterns, because nothing external can override an internal frequency that hasn't yet been recalibrated. To put it simply, the timeline can't transform if the observer remains the same. So what's keeping you anchored in the old one? Usually it's resistance. And resistance wears many masks. It hides as overthinking, procrastination, emotional, numbness, perfectionism, hyperproductivity, or that logical voice whispering, be realistic. But at its core, resistance always returns to one simple belief. Your system thinks it's safer to remain where you are, even in discomfort, than to step into the unknown. And that belief doesn't live in your thoughts, it lives in your body. Stored trauma, suppressed emotion, inherited fear, they're all encoded in your nervous system. That's why you can know something intellectually, yet still be unable to live it. It's why affirmations fall flat, visualizations fade, and you find yourself recycling the same old story. The resistance isn't mental, it's biological. When your nervous system is dysregulated, it signals danger to the quantum field, even as your mouth declares, I'm ready. That contradiction keeps collapsing the same limited outcomes. It's not personal, it's physics. Nikola Tesla once said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That wasn't poetry, it was literal. Your entire life is a frequency pattern. Your thoughts, emotions, posture, and breath all generate a vibrational code that either harmonizes with your chosen timeline or pushes it away. That's why many are instinctively drawn to sacred numbers like 3, 6, 9, or geometric forms. They sense that the universe communicates in pattern, that everything in existence is encoded through vibration. You're not merely a human moving through time, you're a frequency transmitter within a living, responsive field. And you've been broadcasting the same signal for so long, you've mistaken it for identity. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to battle that pattern, you only need to stop energizing it. Ask yourself, where are you still vibrating in fear while declaring faith? Where are you bracing for rejection while asking for love? Where are you trying to attract abundance while secretly feeling undeserving of it? These subtle contradictions are the invisible knots that keep timelines from realigning. In the next part of this journey, we'll go beyond theory, into embodiment. You'll learn how to synchronize the conscious and subconscious, how to regulate your nervous system into coherence, and how to begin living as the version of you who already exists in the upgraded reality. But before we step further, pause here with intention. If something within you feels like it's clicking into place, if you can sense the awakening of your own power, stay connected. Subscribe, grow with this space, and in the comments, drop one word onto a single vibration that names the loop you're ready to dissolve. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's scarcity, maybe it's silence. Whatever it is, speak it. Not for me, for you. Because naming the loop is the first act of releasing it. And now we arrive at the threshold most never cross. Not because it's hidden, but because it's deceptively simple. Shifting timelines isn't about forcing the quantum to obey your will. It's about aligning so deeply, so coherently, with the version of you who already lives that reality, that the old timeline can no longer hold your frequency. Let's break this down. Imagine the quantum field as a vast, boundless ocean of potential. Every timeline, every possibility, every version of you already exists within that ocean as a wave of probability. When you focus your awareness, when you observe with intention, when you align your energy, you collapse one of those waves into form. But here's the secret. You don't collapse the wave through desire. You collapse it through resonance. And resonance isn't a thought. It's emotional, physical, vibrational. It's the way your entire system hums when every part of you is in harmony. So why is it so difficult for most people to match the new timeline? Because they try to reach it by thinking their way there. They intellectualize the shift. I know abundance is possible. I know love exists. I know healing is available. But knowing isn't the same as embodying. Your mind can understand it, yet your body still needs to feel it. Your breath, your tone, your habits, your posture, your emotions, all of them must begin signaling, I am already the version of me who belongs in this timeline. This is what embodiment truly means. It's not a buzzword. It's the missing bridge. Embodiment is the art of inhabiting the vibration you seek before the external world confirms it. Here's how that looks in practice. If you're moving into an abundance timeline, embodiment might look like spending from trust instead of fear. It might mean breathing deeply when the thought of not enough surfaces, rather than collapsing into anxiety. It might mean meeting new opportunities with openness instead of bracing for disappointment. If you're shifting into a love timeline, embodiment may mean softening when you want to withdraw, taking emotional risks or choosing vulnerability even when your scars tell you to hide. If you're moving into a health timeline, embodiment might mean treating your body as though it's already healing, already restoring itself, nourishing it with respect, moving it with gratitude, resting it with compassion. See the pattern? You don't wait for the timeline to change before you start living differently. You live differently first, and the timeline reorganizes around your signal. That's why so many manifestation attempts fall short. They're conditional. I'll feel grateful when the job comes. I'll relax when the partner arrives. I'll feel abundant when the money shows up. But the quantum doesn't operate on delay. It's not judging or testing you. It's mirroring you instantly. This brings us back to Tesla's wisdom, the codes of 3, 6, and 9, the universal harmonics woven through creation. They're not superstition, they're reminders. They point to the truth that reality shapes itself around energy, not effort. So the real question becomes, can you sustain coherence? Can you align your mind, heart, body, and actions even when nothing external has shifted yet? Can you hold your signal steady, unwavering, long enough for the wave to finally collapse into form? Here's the paradox few ever mention. Timelines don't shift just because you're tired of waiting. They shift the moment waiting itself is no longer part of your vibration. Pause. Breathe that in. That's the quantum key. The version of you who already holds what you desire isn't somewhere in the future. They're vibrating right now on a frequency that's available to you in this moment. The real question is, will you tune to it? Before moving forward, take a moment to reflect. What would your day look like if you acted, moved, and breathed as the version of yourself who's already living inside that chosen timeline? What quiet adjustments would you make? Which emotional habits would dissolve? Which conversations would fade away or begin? This isn't about grand gestures or massive leaps. It's about subtle, steady alignment, moment by moment. In the next phase, we'll bring these insights into living practice, shifting from knowing the theory to embodying the shift. Because the only practice that ever matters is the one you actually live. We live in an era overflowing with information, endless methods, books, and manifestation videos. And yet, so many remain unchanged. Why? Because consumption feels like progress. But transformation only begins when your breath, your choices, and your movements start resonating with the knowledge you've gathered. So how do you translate the quantum shift into your everyday reality? It starts with micro-alignment. Most believe shifting timelines requires massive, dramatic changes. But the quantum field doesn't respond to scale. It responds to coherence. A single act done with pure, aligned intention carries more vibrational force than 100 frantic gestures born from fear or need. Let's ground that in real-world examples. If you're aligning with abundance, your practice might be pausing to breathe when scarcity thoughts arise, expressing gratitude for small blessings to amplify the frequency of "I already have," spending money with awareness and trust instead of panic or guilt. If you're aligning with love, your practice might be opening your posture when your instinct is to close, reaching out instead of retreating, speaking words of affection even when vulnerability trembles inside you. If you're aligning with health, your practice might be attuning to the quiet vitality already present in your cells, choosing nourishment, movement, and rest from respect, not from self-punishment, catching inner criticism and replacing it with compassion. Each of these small choices is a quantum key. They signal to the field, this is who I am now, not who I hope to become someday, but who I've decided to embody today. And here's what most people overlook. The practice isn't about perfection. It's about returning. You'll wobble. You'll slip back into familiar loops. You'll catch yourself thinking, feeling, or reacting from the old timeline. That doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human. The power isn't in never falling. The power lives in how quickly you return. Each time you notice yourself drifting into the old vibration and gently steer back, you strengthen the new frequency. Every pause, every breath, every conscious choice for coherence over chaos anchors the shift deeper. Each time you act as if the new reality is already here, even when the outer world hasn't reflected it yet, you collapse the wave into form. This is the sacred rhythm of quantum embodiment. Now, let's talk tools. For some, breathwork, meditation, or visualization tune the system. For others, symbols, sound frequencies, or numbers like 3 on 69 and 777 help align intention. But these are not shortcuts or spells. They're anchors, signals to the subconscious that whisper, I'm tuned to the new reality. Remember, no tool replaces embodiment. You can't delegate your awakening to a ritual. The ritual works only because you do. So here's your invitation today. Identify one pattern from the old timeline you're ready to disrupt. Then choose one small act that embodies your new frequency. Practice it today with awareness, sincerity, and love. It might be as simple as taking 3 slow breaths before reacting. It might be choosing to speak one sentence from your higher self instead of your fearful one. It might be sitting quietly and visualizing your body surrounded by the light of your chosen reality. It's never about what you do, it's about how you do it, and the quantum doesn't wait for time to catch up. It responds to presence now. As you step into this work, remember, you are not walking alone. You are part of a collective awakening, souls remembering their creative power, learning to co-dance with the field. And this space, this channel, is here to move beside you. So before we enter the final step, sustaining the shift, take a breath. If this message has stirred something inside you, If you feel the pulse of possibility awakening, stay close, subscribe, stay connected, and share in the comments one small act you'll practice today. It could be a word. Breathe, trust, open. Your act matters. Your energy matters. Because you matter. Now we arrive at the final stage of this journey. You've traveled through the science, the energy, the subconscious, and embodiment, but this in sustaining the shift is where mastery begins. The quantum field doesn't reshape around you because you visit a new timeline once. It transforms when you live. There, most people treat manifestation as a single event. They visualize, affirm, journal, then wait. And when results delay, they fall back into the old vibration, not realizing that the true power, the real alchemy lies in staying. Sustainability is the ultimate key to the quantum shift. And to be clear, this doesn't mean forcing joy or ignoring challenges. It doesn't mean pretending to be high vibe when you're not. It means building the emotional and energetic strength to return to alignment again and again. Every time you wobble and come back, you amplify your signal. Every time you feel the pull of an old loop and gently choose the new frequency instead, you reinforce the shift. Every time you act, breathe, and speak as though the new reality is already yours, the old one loses its hold. This is not punishment. This is mastery. You are learning to become the quantum signal, the field itself that collapses the wave into form, not occasionally, not when it's easy or fits your schedule, but as a way of being. Let's create a simple map for living this first. Daily awareness. Begin your day not by diving into your tasks, but by tuning your frequency. Ask yourself, what energy am I bringing into today? Am I carrying trust or tension? Expecting struggle or flow? Set your tone before your feet even touch the floor. Second, embodied action. Move through your day with micro-alignment. Notice when your choices reflect your desired timeline, and when they don't. If you seek abundance, are you acting from generosity or from fear? If you seek love, are you opening or guarding? If you seek health, are you nurturing or neglecting? Tiny, consistent adjustments shape more reality than rare, dramatic leaps. Third, emotional regulation. Triggers will come. Doubt will surface. That's not failure. That's humanity. The mastery lies not in avoiding emotion, but in returning to center. Breathe, ground, reconnect with the version of you who already knows. This is who I am now. Fourth, community and symbols. Surround yourself with reminders that keep you coherent. Numbers, mantras, or sacred symbols can help anchor you to your chosen vibration. Stay close to voices and spaces that reflect the reality you're building. Let your environment become an ally instead of a distraction. And finally, gratitude, the amplifier. Gratitude is the emotional frequency of already having. Each moment of genuine thanks tells the field, I am aligned, I am receptive, I am whole. This coherence strengthens your signal and accelerates the timeline's unfolding. Remember, this isn't about getting somewhere, this is the somewhere. You're not chasing the timeline, you're becoming it. Thank you for walking this path beside me. You're not the same being who began this journey. You're vibrating a little higher now, holding a new code, a new possibility, a living shift within you. The magic isn't in memorizing these words. The magic lives in what you do next. So here's your invitation. Not homework, not a checklist, but a living experiment. Within the next 24 hours, surprise yourself. Do one thing, just one, that belongs to the version of you already living your desired reality. Maybe it's a single choice, a gesture, a brave conversation, or a quiet shift inside your mind or heart. It doesn't have to be grand. It only has to be true. And when you do it, feel this truth. You're no longer waiting for change. You are the change. If this message resonated, subscribe, and not to follow, but to stay in resonance, because here, awakening is our baseline. Here, we rise in frequency together. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for daring to become more of who you've always been. Keep going, keep choosing, keep surprising yourself. Because every time you do, the quantum field responds.